Hello everyone. Welcome to Thriving After series. If you've been following along this last month or so, a couple of Thursdays, I have been starting an interview series on Instagram Live called Thriving After. And I want to thank everyone for your kindness, your kind words regarding it. And today we are going to be joining with Jillian Green, and she is going to be talking to us about thriving after saying yes, quote unquote, overcoming fear. So I'm really excited to hear what she has to say with us. We're going to be keeping it around 30 minutes. I know the other ones have been longer than that, but I know Jillian has a lot of amazing things to share with us tonight about what it means to overcome the obstacle of fear and finally being willing to just say yes. And I know that she has experienced the blessings that come forth from saying yes. So Jillian, I see that you're on, so I'm going to go ahead and bring her in. I have her son with her. Hello. Hi.
Hi. I have
How
my
are
little one
you?
here.
Hello. Oh, remind us, how old is he?
Grady is 4 months
Oh
old.
my goodness.
Yes, he is
Hello,
just a
It's
little nugget.
Grady with a G.
Yes. Yep.
Hello,
Yep.
Grady. Oh my goodness. Girl, how are you doing today?
I'm so good. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. Thank you so much for being willing to do this.
Oh my
So
gosh,
me and
I'm excited.
Jillian, we are new friends. We connected through one of my friends, Lindsay, and she basically told me I need to reach out to Jillian because Jillian is the founder of Hope House, which we're going to kind of get into that briefly, what that is and what she does and her vision behind that. And so she told me to reach out to Jillian because I have started my own nonprofit, started in 2020. And so it's been slowly but surely coming along. And Jillian has just been a huge inspiration for me with my own journey of starting a nonprofit. But also, she's a mom. She loves fitness. She loves health. And she's an entrepreneur. So with all of that being said, Jillian, go ahead and just share briefly about who you are, what you do, and what you're going to be really talking to us about tonight.
Sure. Yes. Okay. So I live in the Sunshine State. I live in Florida State, originally from Washington. And my background really, I fell in love with the Lord and His church when I was in high school. And that was really when my life changed and I really started understanding purpose and mission and to live life on mission and with purpose. And so moved to Florida 10 years ago, met my husband at our church in Washington State, got married, moved to Florida. We have 4 sons, so all the boys in our world.
Total
And
boy mom.
it is so fun. I love having all boys. And started my business with health and wellness 4 years ago. And God, around that same time, really birthed Hope House and the vision behind that about 4 years ago. And it's been such an amazing story. And even for me, like walking through it. And so tonight we just get to talk about thriving after saying yes. I think saying yes is one of the most important answers that we give. Think about getting married and saying yes to your spouse. That's a scary thing.
Yeah.
At least for me, it was like, I was so scared to get married. I'm like, one person, I'm saying yes to one person for the rest of my life and no to everybody else. And then,
I know a lot of people feel that way, girl.
yes. And then saying, yes, when I started my business, and then saying yes to this call that, okay, Grady. Daddy's
Okay,
gonna
we
be
are
homesick.
moms, Jillian, so we
Yes,
totally understand.
yes,
I just
yes.
appreciate you doing this because I know
No,
it's
no, no,
hard
no.
with the baby.
No, it's all good. I'm super happy to be doing it. And I might just feed him and see
Yeah,
how that
that's
goes while
totally
don't worry,
possible.
I'm gonna keep it keep it covered. But that's, yeah, and so started Hope House 4 years ago. And I think, you know, just saying yes, saying no is actually really important as well. That's a whole nother topic, but saying yes is so important. And when we feel like God is putting something on our hearts or giving us a vision, like saying yes and taking those next steps it changes the course of our lives. So
Mm-hmm. So tell us more about Hope House. Where did that vision come from? I know you said it started around 4 years ago.
yeah.
What birthed that vision? Is it part of
Yes.
your story? Is it just having a heart for, helping women?
Yeah, so it's not part of my story personally. And so for those who are watching that maybe have no idea, like what is Hope House, just to
Yes.
give you context before I share about it, basically it is a home that exists to do three things primarily, and that is to serve, equip, and empower first time expectant moms who've chosen life for their babies, and to just be that resource and option for expectant mamas. And so 4 years ago, it was around the time that I started my business, and I knew on the front end of starting my business, like I want to be able to build a business that can meet a need, serve a need. And so at that same time, I was like, man, Lord, what would that cause be? There's so many amazing causes that we could rally behind and get behind.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, I had previously done work with like human trafficking. So I thought maybe it was going to be something along those lines. But around that same time, it was just like seeing this need of expectant moms who didn't feel like they had options. It was just like in front of my face over and over. And I have always had a huge passion for like personal development, leadership development. And so I'm like, man, what if we could give these moms an option and a place where they could live? But like, truly, it's funny that this is thriving after, but really have a place where moms don't just aren't just in survival mode, but they're actually thriving and they're confident in who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's
That's
kind of how
awesome.
that came about. Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of women that, they're pregnant and they don't know how they're going to do it. And they know that they, want to be a mom, but it just seems like there's not enough out there for them. And so it's
Mm-hmm.
really inspiring to hear what you're doing and to know that there is help. There are, people out there that are providing homes and providing these ways for these women to learn.
Yeah.
Like they can go to school. You can empower them to learn different ways of living. You can inspire them or empower them to learn how to like save financial
Yeah,
things. It's these basic things
absolutely.
that a lot of women are not, a lot of people in general don't have guidance on, that we're supposed to be taught by our parents, and so if we're
Mm-hmm.
lacking in that, it's really hard to be able to pave a way for ourselves and our children. So that is amazing
Yeah.
that you're doing that. Thank you so much for doing that, because me, as a single mom myself, when I
Mm-hmm.
was a single mom, I know
Mm-hmm.
how hard that is and how scary it can be. So having a
Totally.
place that these women can go to and know that they're not alone is just incredible. So thank
Yes.
you for that, Jillian.
Yes, we're really excited about it.
So I know that you've talked about starting a business, or you're an entrepreneur for 4 years, and that really does tie into Hope House. So first of all, if you guys want to know more about Hope House, please go follow Jillian. I know that you're tagged on your bio with Hope House, right? Founder of Hope
Yes.
House.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
so you guys can go to her
Mm-hmm.
bio. First of all, you can go like her, go follow her, go see everything that she's doing, and then go follow Hope House and see how that vision is just coming to fruition. I know that right now you are in the process of creating it, cleaning it up,
Yeah.
construction, all of that.
Yes, it is so exciting. So we're gonna see if I can get him a little content. So we purchased a home. It's over 100 years old. If any of you have seen the movie My Girl, it's like an old classic movie. It's the house that movie was filmed at. It's just been this amazing God story, and really going back because this. Okay, so give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second.
It's okay,
I'll be right
Jillian.
back.
Take your time. For all the moms out there, we totally understand.
Yes.
Girl, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. Yes, I know. Multitasking queen. So much respect for you, Jillian.
All right, we're gonna see if I'm just gonna lay him down and see how he does in there, and then we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Mom life, absolutely. Total
Yes.
mom life. We get it.
Oh my word. He's like, Mom, what is going on? Because he hasn't gotten his bath yet, so he's like laying there when I laid him down. He'll be good. I'll give him
Thank
a
you
bath
so
when I'm
much,
done.
Jillian.
Yes, yes. Um, So, I was going to say, after we say yes, that's when like the real work starts. And this house
Yes.
has been such a miracle story. And a lot of times, especially for me, I don't know about, everybody's personalities that's watching, but I am such the type of person that I want to know all the details. Like, how is this going to work out? But what I have really found through the course of this journey is saying, yes, God, and then just following and taking those next steps. And
Mhm.
so, with this house, it was seriously a miracle story. We had been to so many houses over the past 3 years, and every time like we walked into a house, it was like, no, this is not it, this is not it, this is not it. And my personality is very optimistic. Like, I am very much so like, oh, we can make this work. But it was like, no, no. And when we got into this house and we walked it, I was like, oh my gosh, like this house, I think this could be it. The only problem was that all offers had to be in by that same night. And I was like, we had no money to our name. We weren't pre-approved. And it was a miracle that we were even able to look at this house. And so when we were driving there, my friend Bree and I was like, okay, if we love this house, we can record a video on my iPhone and we can ask people to commit to give. And so it's like one of those things that it was like, okay, yes, Lord. And we recorded the video, and before even putting it out, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm literally gonna embarrass my family. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
were
like,
you
babe,
feeling like afraid? Were you feeling that fear?
yes, I was like, this is crazy. So it was $550,000 in 4 hours was the commitment that we were asking people for. And I was in the middle of reading a book called Draw the Circle, 40-Day Prayer Challenge by Mark Batterson. If you have not read it, it will change your life. Everybody needs to read that book, but I was going through that book at the time, and so my faith was really stirred. Um, And so we put the video out, and it really just gained traction. But the key thing to that story is we didn't raise the $550,000 in 4 hours, but it got the word out. And in the meantime, God was working in the background and still allowed us to submit an offer. If you know anything about real estate at all, to be able to put in an offer with no pre approval and no funds to your name is a miracle in and of itself. But I really believe that in taking that step of faith and saying, yes, God, I
Mhm.
will do this. Yes, God, I'll look crazy because you're glorified in the crazy. I think that God honors those moments and those things. And so we have seen just like miracle after miracle, and it's been really special. So
So you were able to put an offer on. Now you didn't raise the $550,000, but you did raise enough to where they were willing to be like, hey, and also um, one of the investors has a
yes.
heart for women's homes. So tell us a little bit about that and how that like correlated in.
Yes. So, this house was owned by two investors, and the reason why we were even able to look at the house that day is because their listing agent was like, I happen to know that the owners have a heart for things like this. So he's like, come look at it, all of that. And so, after we had come to the house and looked at it, and we were like, we want to do this, we shared that we put a video out with the listing agent, and I got a call, and it was from New Hampshire. And I knew that it was the owner because the listing agent had told us like the owner is from New Hampshire, and his family actually, or somebody that he knew, started a home for first time moms. So he calls and he just begins to tell me the story, that when he was a boy, his parents opened a home for single moms. And so it was pretty amazing the way God like just orchestrated
Mhm.
perfectly. And so we went back and forth that night, and then the next day is when he called and he's like, we decided to take the risk and accept your offer. And he said, this is something that's really illogical for what we do. It's a really illogical decision, but we really believe in the cause. And I share that because it's so special. Whenever you're trying to do anything for God, you can anticipate that there are going to be roadblocks, but you can also anticipate that God will go before you and he will open up the doors that only he can and align the relationships that only he can. And it was miraculous. There were other people who had proof of funds because he didn't know me from anybody else. We could have said, we can raise these funds and then not have raised them, and they lost another buyer. So it was a pretty big deal.
I think a huge word for this is like connection, making connection and not being afraid to make connection. That's something that I have written down about this season in my life, because I think a lot of people are just afraid to step out because they're afraid of, I guess, rejection. But really the worst thing that can happen is, okay, they say no, or it just doesn't work out. And then you just redirect, right? So when we put it into perspective in like that, where the worst thing that can happen is it's just no, and it's just it's just a different opportunity, a different path. It can be like empowering when you see it that way. But it is crazy how like we automatically start thinking in our head. I think the first thing that would come to mind for me is, what are people going to think? They're going to be like, there Michelle goes being crazy again with her visions and dreams. And it's like, then it's scary. If it fails, you know, then everybody sees it. So it is scary, but also people are watching and they're inspired. And guess what? Failure is the way to success. You will fail in life, but it's what you take from those failures and the lessons that will help you in the next opportunity, that will ultimately help you through the journey to get there, you know?
100%.
So I just love your story because it's literally everything that I personally needed to hear. You know, a lot of people here need to hear this, so it's just great.
One thing that just kind of made me, it just kind of triggered in my brain is, I think like all of us, we want to see like fruit before we take steps. And, you know, we want to see something and then we believe in it and then we start telling about it. But I feel like one thing that I have learned is it's actually reversed. Like, we believe something, like, so we like believe in a cause and then we speak it out. We speak it out in faith. We share about it. We, you know, tell people this is something that we want to do, and then we see it. And I feel like that is a life of faith, of like choosing to believe in something and speaking it out and then seeing it, versus what we prefer is to see the evidence first.
Absolutely. And like you've told me, is be the example. Like, just be the example. So you will have people that don't believe in you, and that's okay. Continue to be the example. And like you told me in our last call, was just show love, you know, just be an example of love, and the rest will be taken care of.
Yes, we have to be the evidence for people that
be the evidence.
that like, you know, no matter what it is, like in our faith, we have to be the evidence of like, this is what a life of faith looks like, or this is what, you know, dealing with rejection looks like. This is what experiencing success looks like amidst other people thinking maybe that this is not the right fit, or, you know, just be the evidence.
Yeah. And that's with now going to business with a business mindset. I mean, people, you have to, that's how you get investors. That's how you get people to see your vision, is you have to ask. You have to be willing to speak up and ask. And there have been opportunities where I just kept my mouth shut. And then later on, I'd be like, that was an incredible opportunity that I could have, if I just like opened my mouth, you know, that could have opened a new door. And thank God, like, you know, God still works, even if we missed that opportunity. But it's just like, there's been times where I'm like, man, if I really spoke up, I wonder what could have happened, or I could have had that speaking engagement, or, you know, so we can't be afraid to believe in the cause, but then start sharing. We have to share, because connection and networking is everything, because God will connect you to the right people, but he can't do that if you're not willing to first take action for it, and second, share, talk about it, you know?
100%.
So Jillian, so going to the business side, You really inspired me to really open myself up to other ways of income so that I can, like, my thing right now is I want so badly to do House of Destiny, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, I work full time. I
Yeah,
have different priority, different things going on. I wouldn't say priority because I know that I'm in a season of praying on it and really working on it behind closed
of
doors,
course.
preparation. But I also do wonder how I can step forward and put my whole heart into this nonprofit
Hmm.
when financially, you know, still need to make a living, right? So
Totally.
tell us more about how you were able to open up that door and those opportunities to where you can focus on Hope House.
Yeah, absolutely. So 4 years ago, so my background, I mentioned in the beginning, my background, I think I did, but my background has been in church ministry since I was 18 years old. So I never in a million years thought I would be in like fitness, health and wellness. And that came into my life by way of a company called Arvon. And so I was just like, never in a million years did I think that I would be in any sort of social marketing, network
Right,
marketing, anything
right.
like that. And so, but when I started my business 4 years ago, like I said, I knew I wanted to be able to give my life to something. And to give your life to something, it's not just time and not just money, or it's not just one or the other, it's both. And so, how can I, do something that I am passionate about? And still serve people and still bring, because I think ministry is not what we do by vocation, it's who we are. And so
Mm-hmm.
how could I do all of these things and and be able to give my life to something? And so that's what I love so much about your story and exactly where you're at with House of Destiny, because like I can see it already. Like
Right,
I'm
right.
like, I know what's ahead for you. And so it took me, the years of, building in the dark and doing things behind closed doors and all of those things. And then it was like when God saw fit for things to speed up and open those doors, you know, then the timing was right. But I
Yeah.
had to I had to be okay with rejection. I had to be okay with being misunderstood in those early years
Mm-hmm.
because, um and I want to say this as a disclaimer. If you're like, oh, what is Arbonne, or what are the finances and how are you saying you made this possible? You can check out earnings.arbonne.com if you have questions. I want to say that as a disclaimer and as a VP in our company. But after a year building my business, that was when I was able to transition, because I was working full time. I was able to transition into building my business full time after
That's
a little over a year. And that's what's given me the time freedom to be able to do this. Like, I mean, building an organization, number one, I'm not doing it by myself. And that's one of the most important things about saying yes to anything. Again,
mm-hmm.
marriage, uh, being an entrepreneur, starting a business, starting a nonprofit. Right after you say yes, you have to partner with people that are just amazing and
I love
like-minded.
that.
So I am not building this thing by myself. I have the most incredible team ever that are all volunteers, and we're giving of our time to it. But I wouldn't have been able to the degree that I'm in. Um, I am hesitant to say I wouldn't be able to, because I think so many things are possible, but it would have been
I
so
must
much
be
more
now.
difficult
Yeah, more
to give
difficult.
my life, yeah, to the degree that I am, had I not worked those 3 years of, hard work and showing up. But I had
Right.
that vision, knowing like this is what I want to do. And so during the times that any entrepreneur, anybody building anything significant, we have our doubts, we have our fears, we have our, is this worth it, all those things. But when you have your vision and you know why you're doing those things, it's what's able to get you past those
Yeah,
moments of doubt and fear, and
yeah.
all of the above.
Yeah, I think it's important for our viewers to, whether you write this down on your phone or write it down on your computer, wherever you are, a piece of paper, know your why. You have to
Yeah.
know your why, like Jillian said, because your why is what is going to be your motivation in the hard times, in the times where you want to give up. When you have your mind so set on your why in life, that will carry you through every season. And I took a picture of the home that I want House of Destiny to be in
Yes.
2016. I sound weird. Okay, so I would visit it on
No,
my
you
lunch
don't.
break because I literally worked like 2 minutes up the road. On my
Mhm.
lunch break, I would visit it. I would drive by. I'd sit right there across the street in my car, and I would pray over
Yeah.
it and claim it. Like I
Yeah.
really believe in that, and I really wholeheartedly believe that like God showed me this for a reason. I've never told anyone that other than my fiance, but like these are
No.
things that like when I saw that, I will always remember those moments and remember that picture that I took on my phone that then I put it into like a
Hmm.
little frame thing. So then I can look at it as my why every day. When I'm
Absolutely.
stagnant in a season of I don't want to say stagnant, but in a season of waiting or in a season where it seems like things are not happening,
Yep. Totally.
where you start to
Totally.
doubt, because we
Yep.
will have those seasons. That is my reminder. And that's why I
Hmm.
joined forces with you, because I have
Yeah.
an end goal, which is House of Destiny. And I need to be
Hmm.
open to saying yes to opportunities that come my way so that it can happen.
Yeah. I love that. It reminds me, even working on Hope House, I did like a reel on this a couple of weeks ago, and I even talked to our lead team for Hope House about it today. I was telling them, I'm like, I love our biweekly meetings as a lead team, and one of the reasons why we do this is because we have to keep the vision in front of us.
Mhm.
And every single time I go out to Hope House to work or to do a walkthrough or whatever, every time I leave it, I leave with more vision and
Mhm.
excitement and clarity, because it's just about keeping that vision in front of you. So that's exactly like, what you're saying with having taken that picture, going to visit the house, because if not, the vision can get blurry or our why can get
Absolutely.
blurry. So we
Yeah.
have to keep those things in front of us and do things to,
Mhm.
yeah, keep it in front of us.
Absolutely. So, what would you say to our listeners that want to say yes, whether it's being an entrepreneur, starting a
Hmm.
business, whether it's applying for that job,
Hmm.
asking for a raise even because they have earned it for the last 6 years,
Yeah.
or saying yes to a whole different new career path or a whole different new path in their life? What would you say to somebody right now that is in that season of so badly wanting to say yes, but all they see in front of them is a mountain, and a mountain of fear?
Yeah. You know, let me think, because I want to give a if I was looking at somebody or talking to somebody that was in
Yeah.
any of those scenarios, I would say take one step. Again, sometimes we think we have to have all of the answers figured
Mhm.
out. So if you're the person who's like, I want to have a conversation about a raise, you don't have to know every word you're going to say. You have to take that next step. You have to email your boss and set up a meeting. If you want to start a business, you don't need to know exactly how you're going to do it. But if you feel like you've resonated with, um, a cause or a mission, or you have an idea, like ask somebody who else is in that field and set up a coffee date to learn more. Like,
Yeah.
just take that next step. And also, especially if you're a person of faith, remember the identity in which you're doing it from. You're a daughter, most likely a female, maybe there's some men on here, but you're a daughter of the Most High King. There is so much that comes with that identity. And I have to remind myself of that all the time, because we all have our insecurities, we all have our
Yeah.
fears. But,
Yeah.
one of my, affirmations is I am a Christian, a daughter of the Most High King. That gives me so much power and confidence in whatever I'm pursuing. And if nothing else, it reminds me the Lord is with me in this.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of the mindset behind it, is remembering your identity. But the very practical side of it is take that next step. So, like, my call to action to anybody watching this is, I believe that we're all created, and we all believe that we are created on purpose for a purpose. And
Mhm.
I think that there are a lot of people that, feel like, man, I'm playing small, when I believe that, like,
Yeah.
God gave me a heart to dream big. And
Mhm.
so to you, I would say, and my call to action is, identify one simple step that you can take. It doesn't have to be huge. It could even be DMing Michelle, DMing me, and sharing with us what that is.
Yes,
And
yes.
because you need people in your life to fan into flame and to speak
Absolutely.
life and to speak faith
Like,
over your vision and, what you want to do. So that's probably what I would say
that's
for
beautiful. I
starters.
love that. One step at a time, because I think we tend to see the big picture and we think it has to be this giant step. But the little steps is how we get there. And so whether it's
Totally.
just writing down a proper like vision, like writing
Yep.
down your mission statement,
Yep.
whether it's something like that, or like Jillian said, reaching out to somebody, whether it's me, her, or another friend that you can really just have coffee with and discuss your dream with,
Yeah.
and get inspired by somebody like Jillian that I've reached out. I reached out to her. This is how this happened. Okay,
Yes.
I had to take that step and reach out to her and be like, hey,
So true.
this is my vision. I see that you did Hope House, and I want to learn from you. So like humbling yourself and being willing to reach out, not being afraid of what people will think, but seeing like that connection that can happen and being willing to learn from others, because
Yes.
that's what it's all about, making
Yes.
connections and networking. And yeah, so I love that. So guys, just remember, your call to mission is one step at a time. I love that. Is there anything else you want to share with us, Jillian, before we let you go to, to take care of Grady? I know it's his bedtime.
No,
So
he's
seriously,
good.
thank you.
He's probably asleep. No, thank you so much. I feel super, super honored, and I'm just so inspired by you and your mission, Michelle. And I cannot wait, because I know House of Destiny is going to really come to fruition. And I was on the phone with Lindsay yesterday.
Where are
And
you?
yeah, and we were talking about you, and she's like, Michelle is one of those people who, like, there are people who dream about it, and then there are people who actually do things. And she's like, I know Michelle is actually going to do this. And I was like, I believe that too.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That is so sweet. And
Yes.
guys, if you are in that phase where you are looking to say yes and want to know what that looks like we said, reach out to me or Jillian. We are more than happy to talk with you. We are more than happy to encourage you. If you're looking for a way to make extra income, if you're looking to become an entrepreneur so that it can open those doors for you to be able to pursue your dreams, like House Hope or Hope House and House of Destiny, like please reach out to us and know that we are here for you, and we are in this with you guys. And I love that. I'm so grateful that I have you on my side in this journey with me, and we can link arms and do this together, girl. I feel very grateful.
So excited. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Thank you, girl. Thank you guys for watching, and make sure to tune in next week. We will be continuing the Thriving After series. All right, bye guys. Have a great night. Bye, Jillian.
Bye.